Okay, hi everyone. Thought I would go ahead, as I do most weeks, provide you a really brief video talking about the assignments that you have for this week. And so again, this week focuses on taxation primarily. And so you've got some videos that are provided for you. One video on the difference between progressive and regressive taxes, another video on how tax brackets work, another one on the consumption sales taxes, another one on property taxes, and another one on property taxes here in the state of California. So just some basic videos to just supplement what I provided for you in the lecture video for the week. So let's turn our attention to the two primary assignments you have for this week. Again, you will have this discussion board assignment that you have gotten very familiar with. You're creating your PowerPoint presentation. And in this narrated PowerPoint presentation for discussion board for this week, you are going to take the city budget that you selected back in week number 1, and in reviewing that city budget, I want you to review the sources of revenue that the city relies upon. So what types of sources of revenue does the city generate its money from? Show me the top 3 revenue sources for the city, and then also show me the percentage of total revenue that the city generates from each one of these sources. And so they're getting X amount of money from the property tax. What percentage of total revenue is coming from that property tax? Or X amount of money from a local option sales tax. We might see a Burns-Bradley sales tax. How much are they getting from that? And what percentage of total revenue are they getting from that sales tax source? So top 3 revenue sources, what percentage of total revenue they're getting from each of those sources, and then turn your attention to the progressivity or regressivity of the tax structure. So based upon the types of taxes that your city is using, how regressive or how progressive do you think their tax structure is? And give me some justification for that, including a couple, 2 or 3 scholarly resources would certainly help support that part of your presentation. So again, to recap, what revenue sources are being used? What are the top 3 revenue sources being used? What percentage of total revenue do they get from each one of those top 3 revenue sources? And then assess the progressivity or the regressivity of the tax structure in your city. And so that will then be your PowerPoint presentation for your discussion board participation this week. Then you also have a journal entry. This journal entry, again, teases out this issue of progressivity versus regressivity. You can read the background. While progressive tax structures are usually the goal of many cities, there is a reality involved with the adequacy of tax levies. In other words, it is possible to have a trade-off between seeking progressivity and generating adequate revenue to meet expenditure requirements. So for this journal entry, I would like for you to think about the following. How would you balance the competing values of seeking progressivity and generating adequate revenue to meet expenditure requirements? So kind of, how do you balance creating a progressive system while still generating adequate revenue to cover your expenditures? And then the second part of the journal, are there instances where you could justify supporting a more regressive form of taxation in order to enhance tax revenue? So we're kind of getting at that philosophical argument. If we want to have the most progressive tax structure we can have, but we then meet the reality of needing to have enough revenue to cover our expenditures. So kind of that 2-part journal entry for me. Again, please type directly into the journal area and give me your reflections on those issues. As always, if you have any questions about either the discussion board assignment or the journal assignment, feel free to reach out to me via email. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So good luck. I look forward to reading your work, and have a great week.